Happy New Year. Welcome to this special edition of RFL. I'm Richard French. Well, tonight we usher in 2016 by gazing into our collective crystal balls to try and see what the new year will bring on the big issues, on some big local stories, and more. And to do that, we are back here with our black tie panel. Jeannie Zaino, not in a black tie, but professor of political science at Iona College and professor of campaign management at NYU. Dominic Carter, political journalist and author. TJ McCormick, professional troublemaker, no, I kid, a Republican consultant. And Andrew Whitman, our senior political correspondent. All right, our first topic off, you probably could have guessed, the presidential election. Now, come November, the U.S. will elect a new president. That much at least we can agree on. Even though the campaign has been going on for more than a year now, there is still a lot here in terms of twists and turns that lie ahead. On the Democratic side, can anyone or anything derail Hillary Clinton on her way to the nomination? What impact will Bernie Sanders have on Clinton or on the race itself? And who might Hillary be looking at for a running mate? Then, of course, a whole lot more questions on the Republican side. The Iowa caucuses come 1 month from today. New Hampshire, February 19th. Who will the nominee be? Will that nominee come from the far right or more moderate Republican? And of course, Donald Trump. Need I say any more? He qualifies as his own topic. His surprising strength through all of 2015, it begs the question, can he actually win the nomination? And if not, what will finally derail the Donald? All right, Jeannie, you have seen the polls. We'll start with that throughout all of 2015. The one thing, believe it or not, in a regular campaign season is the regular trending with the numbers. Whether people want to admit it or not, Donald Trump has consistently held his share, and if anything, has built on it here. I think if it was anyone else, we'd be looking at him as the prohibitive favorite. People just keep expecting him to fade away. It just hasn't happened. It
hasn't happened, and toward the end of this year and going into the new year, we've seen him in the upper 30s and closing in on the lower 40s, and that is something nobody expected because we all said he had ceilinged out around 25 or 30. Now that said, I think we have to be very circumspect when we look at some of these polls. Polls have been failing for a very, very long time. What do we know about Trump supporters in Iowa? Just as an example, we know that they are the least likely people to go out to the caucuses and spend 2 to 3 to 4 hours on a very cold night advocating publicly on behalf of Donald Trump. So I think we have to be very cautious about looking at the polls. That said, absolutely, Donald Trump, if you look at them, all of them together in totality, he at least is winning. We just don't know by how much at this point.
There's a handsome guy at this table in a tuxedo who I've heard say words like, finito, over, it's done. The Donald, say goodbye. A pretty good impression, I think, of him. That would be Dominic Carter. Dominic, admit.
But I also predicted his enormous success.
You had it both ways.
That as well.
Absolutely.
No, he's a politician.
Oh, no, he's talking about covering all your bases here.
I said he was done before I said he was the nominee.
Exactly. Admit it. January 1, the fact that we're still talking about him as the front runner, what does that tell you?
It tells you that the political experts don't know what they're talking about. That's what it says to me.
Well, thanks for indicting us all. But go ahead, yeah.
I mean, no, because
but what did he tap into?
He tapped into a Republican base. And let's remember now, he may be doing well with the base. But what happens in a general election if he's the nominee? I don't know. But what he's tapping into is anger, fear, what people feel is a lack of leadership with Obama. All of those things combined all across this great country, and that's why, plus the image of success. You fly in on your own 727 or whatever, and, Trump name he's seen as a success, even though he's had enormous bankruptcies. So I'm not willing to write the guy off. I'm not willing to write him off.
Does anybody at the table actually think that he's going to be the Republican nominee?
I don't know anymore.
Does anybody?
You know what? I would have bet. I would go hit Vegas here with my buddy TJ. I would have put a lot of money as to know. But then I look at the rest of the field. Ted Cruz, and I say this to my Republican friend here, right? He was the most despised member of the entire Republican population in Washington. He was seen as somebody who derailed any momentum the party ever got through selfish agendas, shutting down governments for publicity stunts and all the rest. With these faux filibusters and blah, blah, blah.
Now he's going to win Iowa.
And now he's considered the credible alternative to some. I mean, just when you guys look like you can clean up,
Right.
it's like, you know, how do you destroy your own success here? I mean, you guys seem to hate prosperity.
It's. I know. Well, look, it's the Republicans prove that continue to prove they just can't get out of their own way with weird messaging and odd candidates and bad timing. And there's the president. You know, there's the president having arguably the lowest point of at least the last few years of his administration. And here's Donald Trump talking about banning Muslims. And just when you think that Donald Trump is going to flame out, you know, or rise or fall. Who knows with Donald Trump? He's such an enigma. Here comes Ted Cruz with his odd ways, but he's a smart guy. That's the one thing. People, you know, Ted Cruz is a smart guy, a brilliant debater, and he's had some great moments in these debates, calling out the media. If I was to gaze into my crystal ball, if you were to ask me what I'd really, really think would be the smart ticket.
Well, no, don't
You
tell me
want there
what
yet?
you want to see. Tell me, what do you think will happen?
What I think will happen, because ultimately you have to think about the math. Ultimately, the smart electoral math is a ticket that involves Rubio and Kasich. Rubio, because that delivers Florida and Ohio going into an election.
All right.
And
Do
it
you
delivers
agree?
and it delivers Hispanic
I
voters,
think Rubio
Latinos.
is still likely to be the nominee. I don't think picking your vice president really matters anymore. I don't think
If he can bring
I don't
Ohio,
think,
if he
I don't,
can
I don't
deliver
think
Ohio.
Kasich on the ballot is going to win
But
you
you think
Ohio or
Rubio's the
Louisville.
nominee? How about you guys?
I guess by default, I guess so.
Maybe I didn't hear
Republican
right.
nominee. Who do you think it is?
Did they say Rubio was
Yep.
a nominee?
Yes.
I can't really respond the way I want to respond
Pick
because
another
we're on
one.
television.
Pick another
Give me
name.
another
Yeah,
one.
Pick
Mark,
another name.
Mark Rubio?
Marco Rubio.
Marco Rubio.
Oh, Marco
Yeah,
Rubio.
yeah.
Whatever.
Mark.
It's still
Oh,
Rubio.
that kid.
He's still a junior senator from Florida
Yeah.
who's seen as a tremendous opportunist.
Yes.
And you're saying that this
On the
guy's
heels
going to
of
be
the
the
junior
nominee?
senator from Illinois who is an opportunist.
Knew that was coming.
Now, can
That
I
was
say,
cute.
though, I think this conversation is wholly misplaced. The Republicans' focus now has got to be not losing the Senate. This
Yeah.
is all a down ballot race now. They don't have the numbers to win the nomination unless Hillary Clinton is indicted. That granted, they need somebody at the top of the ticket that gets Republicans out and they maintain the Senate and they
Okay.
don't lose numbers in the
So-
House. That's the
So
game
that's the
for
perfect
Republicans.
segue there, Jeannie, to
Thank you,
Hillary
Richard.
Clinton. Let's assume Bernie Sanders, if anything, might move her on some of the issues more to the left, but that's it. Short of an indictment, does she just have to play four corners basketball, which is just to keep it away and basically stall and run out the clock? Or does she have to define herself? I'm surprised when I look at the poll numbers, just on head-to-head matchups. She doesn't blow out the competition like I thought. In some cases, theoretically, she'd even lose. I know that's so hypothetical a year out. But nonetheless, what does she have to do here as a presumptive nominee for the Democrats to actually win in November?
I think she's got to maintain what she's been doing. She's got to be careful she doesn't get into trouble. But just look at the numbers. If Hillary Clinton gets 75% to 80% of Latinos, which looks likely if the Republicans keep where they are,
Not 90,
and
yeah.
they also lose other minorities when they lose Latinos, you know, the game is over. So this is, as TJ said, this is a game of math. This is a game of numbers. And so that's where the Republicans have real trouble. Now, she had a horrible summer last
Yep.
summer. She had a much better fall. She's not a great candidate. I mean, we have to be honest. But that said, the competition she's facing has made it that much easier for her. I mean, that's why if you look, many people are saying this is conspiracy by Donald Trump to hand this thing over
Yeah.
to Clinton because it does
Well,
help
I
her.
got less than a minute, guys.
Sure.
I want to go around and start with you, TJ. Not who you want,
Right.
but if you're hitting up Vegas here,
If I'm hitting up Vegas,
who's
and
the
you
next
have,
president of the United States?
yeah, who's the next president of the United States?
This is tough
need
for
a minute
TJ.
If I'm
Need a
betting,
minute?
Yes, if you're betting. Not with your heart, with your head.
okay, and you know what? I'm taking in all possibilities.
Oh,
If Rubio
Jesus.
is the Republican, Rubio's the president.
Okay. Again.
If
Go
Ru-
ahead.
no, I think
Yes.
that. I think if
Dominic
Rubio,
agrees.
Here's how you do a quick answer. Hillary Clinton.
No doubt about it, Hillary Clinton. But she can't wait, Richard. But she can't run out the clock.
She's got a campaign.
She's got to energize the black base coming off of Obama.
It's all about the base,
No,
Tom.
no
Yeah.
energize the base. Finito
this
Hillary.
is my impression
Yeah.
of Dominic Carter at the roulette table. Black and red.
Wait, why is that?
All right,
Red and
on
black.
that note
Why
here,
can't it be red?
we want to get you involved in our conversation. Please head over to Facebook and Twitter and sound off on our question here related to the 2016 elections. Who will the nominees be and who will be the next president and why?